Welcome to another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I'm your host, Stephen Bardo. As you can see, the surroundings are a little bit different. The lighting is different. Not at home, but didn't want to pass up an opportunity to converse with the tribe, my people that love Big Ten basketball as much as I do. Welcome to another edition. We got a fun show today. Really good interview with Iowa Assistant Coach Courtney Eldridge. He tells us about the players to look out for, gives us some fun stories about Fran McCaffery and just the overall outlook for the Iowa Hawkeyes this year. Give you a flying line-eye story. This one about Lowell Hamilton. We'll do the next five in the top 50, and then I'll answer your questions, okay? So enjoy this interview with Courtney Alexander, and we are going to get into it. Here we go. All right, here we go, y'all. Welcome back to another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I'm your host, Stephen Bardo. I told you to check in because I got some good people coming on this show here. This is my man, Iowa Assistant Coach Courtney Eldridge. Coach, thanks so much for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm good, Steve. Thanks for having me, and we'll enjoy this opportunity to kick it with you. Love seeing you when you come into the building, and you're always a good guy to just bounce some things off of. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity to sit down and talk with you.
No, I'm looking forward to it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever I go to Iowa, I think it was 3 seasons ago, man, I did so many games. I think I paid taxes out there, and I'd see Coach Eldridge out there every time. So we would chop it up and get a chance to connect. But Coach, I want to share with our viewers, man, your background, because your playing background at the collegiate level and professionally is really impressive. And it seemed to be a springboard for your coaching career. Is that accurate to say?
Yes, that's an accurate statement. I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to play collegiately at UNC Greensboro. Played for Coach McCaffery down there. So that was my connection here to Iowa. We had a great opportunity, great run down there. Had a really successful college career. As you know, it's hard, to make it to the tournament from the one bid leagues.
Yep.
And we were able to, make it to the tournament in 2001. Played against Stanford and Casey Jacobson and the Collins twins that year. Mm-hmm. And then in my senior year, we won the conference championship. Unfortunately, got upset in the conference tournament by Davidson and ended up making the NIT and, have 20-win seasons and, kind of set the tone of the direction that UNCG basketball, kind of was going in. And still to this day, the job that, Coach Jones is doing down there and Wes Miller had done, proud alum to say the least. And, when I left college, I was fourth in points, the leader in steals, and the all-time leader in assists. So, I had a great career. My jersey is retired at Greensboro, so nobody will ever wear that number 23 again, and without my permission anyway. And I just had a great college career, man. I'm so thankful and blessed, to have the teammates and the coaches that I did, and the support of the administration and staff. I'm currently second, I think, in steals, but I still hold the assist leader. Isaiah Miller, who had a great career down there. Mm-hmm. I think is getting his jersey retired, sometime next week. He leaves, and he's had a successful career. He's playing in the G League. I actually just saw him playing Summer League right now, so I try to follow, guys that come through that program.
Sure. And so, Coach, I'm glad you brought that up because I thought you were going to be a little modest there. It's very rare to have your jersey retired at your alma mater. all-time assist leader. You said second in steals.
Yes.
I think you were 10th. You finished 4th in points, but you're 10th now or something like that?
Yeah. We've had some guys come through there to
put
the basket put the ball in the basket.
Yeah. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Coach also played 12 years overseas. It says Brazil, Poland, Italy, Belarus, Turkey, and Dominican Republic. Can you share some of your experiences or like what was one or two of your favorite stops along the way?
Yeah, I think each stop was a favorite for some, particular reason. Brazil, for the weather was beautiful. You go down there in our fall months, what is their spring and summer. Go down there in August, and it's the I'm from Boston originally, so the weather starts to turn the corner. In September, but down there, it was beautiful. Having the experience, the carnival, that a lot of Americans, without not getting a chance to go down to a Caribbean or a South American country to experience that. The whole country kind of shuts down. The league, like the WNBA is about to go on the Olympic break. We went on a carnival break for about 2 weeks, so it was an awesome experience. Just to be down there, and culturally, it was kind of like America. You had people of all walks of life. Had people that looked like me and you, and had white, Asians. You really didn't. It was a melting pot. You had a lot of different cultures and people, and it was. I really learned to embrace a lot of different communities, and. Also, Turkey was one of my favorite spots as well. I lived in Ankara. We had a really good team. Met some really good people. And the Turkish people are super friendly and nice and helpful. Again, I was in a city. We had a couple teams and a couple second division teams and women's teams. So, I was there with D Brown, actually was in Turkey when I was there.
Okay.
Trying to think who else. Lance Williams, the ones from Paul, some Chicago guys. So you got the Vince Greer, at Minnesota. So,
that's right.
We would all hang out and get together, and Cheryl Ford, Karl Malone's daughter, was out there. So we would get together. It was almost like being in college again. We would go bowling and have dinner and play spades and dominoes and just hang out. So I really had a really great experience in Turkey as well.
And Coach, I think when you have all these overseas experiences and you're dealing with the different cultures and things, as you come into your coaching career, does it aid you in dealing with the young men that come to your program in terms of developing relationships that guys coming from all corners of the world, but you're able to relate to them? Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, I have, been blessed to have those opportunities, and now, I carry those and want to share, some of my stories, with the guys that I recruit, or, the guys that come in our program, and even the parents, that you interact with, on a daily basis. You have, a better appreciation of all walks of life and where people come from and what they go through and what they're dealing with. But, getting to share, my experiences with the guys on our team, or guys who've come through this program who are kind of dealing with that today. Anthony Clemens, him and I have gotten, really close. He's going on, his 7th year as being a pro. And, right now he's in Japan, but, he's kind of gone through it and, did his stint in Europe, but being able to really, work out with him and kind of teach him some of the things that I learned about being a pro and what to expect, has been beneficial, for my coaching career and development, as well.
Do the current players on the Iowa roster understand the kind of collegiate and professional career that you enjoy?
I think some of them have a understanding. I get out there every now and then and show flashes of what was or what used to be. I'm getting up there now. I gotta be selective. You know what I mean? when the time comes. But
sure.
I have a really great rapport, especially with our guards. We get after it. especially in skill development sessions and in our workout groups. I get out there and D them up, and if they can score on me, they can probably score on anybody in our league. So, I still take great pride in being that defensive stopper.
Coach Eldridge, answer this for me. Why is Fran McCaffery not viewed as one of the offensive gurus in the country? I mean, he offensively, he's so good at recognizing talent that seems to be overlooked by other people, but then comes into your program and blossoms and thrives.
Yeah.
What's been the key for Fran's eye in terms of his eye for talent and being able to see a player and being able to put him in his system and be successful?
Steve, that's a very great point. And I wish Coach did get a lot more respect, in that world, you know what I mean? When, people mention a lot of other guys before they mention his name. And that's kind of one of the reasons, why I'm here, why I was so successful as a player. Coach was a point guard at Wake and at Penn. So, he knows the game. And he's a beautiful mind when it comes to, the offensive side of the basketball. He knows, and he's been successful everywhere he's been. And,
Yeah.
He's taken, 4 different programs to the NCAA tournament with Lehigh, UNC Greensboro, Siena, and Iowa. And he builds confidence in his players. As you see some of the shot selection some of our guys have, you like, what was that? But he instills confidence. Some of the shots that, Jared Utoff and Jordan Bohannon used to shoot, Peyton Sanford now shoots, you know what I mean? It's because, he wants those guys to go out there and trust their talent. And we definitely use that with our recruiting. He allows guys to go out there and play freely and don't be afraid to make mistakes. As a point guard, I obviously having the ball in my hands, I turn the ball over. And, I would over penetrate, at times when I was younger and didn't understand. But, I wasn't looking over my shoulder. He wasn't yanking me out of the game. And by the time I became a sophomore, junior, and senior, I was making the right reads and making those plays. But if I was, getting subbed out every time, I made a mistake, I wouldn't be as aggressive and wouldn't be the player, that I was. But, Coach continues to coach that way. And, we've had success because of that.
Very well said, Coach. That was a great breakdown of that. Can we talk about some of your players on the roster?
Absolutely.
You got 2 really interesting transfers here and Seydou Traore. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Coming in from Manhattan. It looks like a 6'8" live wire body type guy.
Yeah. No, Seydou is what we needed to get more athletic in our front court. Can shoot the ball, can make a play off the bounce, rebounds the basketball very well. He's going to be a great addition to our team. Will help us out defensively, especially, being able to switch on the perimeter. We had trouble with that. As good as Ben Cricky was on the offensive end, if we had to switch kind of 1 through 4, we were at a disadvantage with him guarding, a smaller, quicker guard on the perimeter. But I like our chances now with Seydou if he's going to be at that 4th spot.
Okay, and then Drew Thelwell, I was telling you before we came on that I had a benefit of covering Morehead State in their 2 NCAA tournament games, and I got a chance to see Drew. Can you share with our viewers the experience that he brings? Because I believe he's the winningest player in Morehead State history.
Yes, right.
Can you break down what he brings?
Yeah, no, Drew is a consummate point guard. He's going to be a very good professional basketball player. He's a winner. Again, we talked about already, how hard it is to win, and get to the tournament at the one big league level. And, his team has done it, more than once.
Yep.
And that's a testament, to the leader that he is. We with Brock Harding, we needed another point guard, and we wanted to go out there with somebody who could be an extension of a coach on the floor. Defensively, he's going to get after it. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. He knows that each game kind of takes on its own anatomy. And it might cause for him to score more one game or, facilitate more one game. But he understands that. And I look forward to, his experience rubbing off on our newcomers and, the veterans that we have on our program. So I'm really excited about those two guys. They're winners. They're competitive. They're going to help us in our overall trajectory of getting back to where we want to go, which is the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I like both of these players. I mean, obviously, I know Drew a little bit better than Seydou, but from what I've seen of Seydou, he looks like an exciting guy with a lot of versatility. You've got almost as many players returning as anybody in the conference, if I'm not mistaken, as I've done some of my research over the summer. So can you pick a couple of these guys like Peyton? We know that, I thought he was going to stay in the draft and he comes back.
Yep.
And so the nucleus of Peyton Sanford, Owen Freeman, and Josh Dix, man, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it was really a major key for us to retain those guys. Coming back for next year. Peyton could have easily stayed in the draft and maybe possibly gone in the second round or for sure have gotten a two-way with the team. But he's going to bet on himself. You know what I mean? We're going to put him in a position to kind of work on the things that he received as feedback, and we're hoping that he can lead the league in scoring next year. We're going to give him more freedom to be creative. They want to see him kind of do some stuff off the bounce.
Okay.
We're going to allow him to do that. They all know he can shoot the basketball, and also he wants to be better, especially on the defensive end. He rebounds well for his size, but he's taking the onus of being a better defender and doing things personally extra on his own to assure that. Owen Freeman, reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year, is making that sophomore jump already. Had a really good spring. He's having a really great summer so far. Looks to put on some weight. He's extending his range, working on his ball handling and his post moves. I'm really excited about the season that Owen's going to have. I expect him to be a double-double guy. As if, we're having this conversation at this time, in 9 months. Josh Dix, man, he's kind of like our unsung hero. You know what I mean? The quiet assassin. You know what I mean? Josh is going to have, he's going to be a 50, 40, 90 guy for us, this year. Look for him to be a little bit more aggressive, kind of waits for it to kind of come to him, so to speak. But, we expect Josh to take that jump too. I believe he averaged around, 12 points, last year, but we expect him to be somewhere around that 15 to 18 point range. And he's got the capability to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Dix is an NBA player in a few years. He's just got, the ability to score. Guys think they can take him off the bounce as well. He's a really good defender, and he's got great size and length. With some athleticism, how they call him sneaky athletic. He's got some sneaky athleticism to him too, and I expect him to make that leap as he comes into his junior year as well. Price had a really great spring, having a really good summer as well. We expect him to crack the rotation a lot more. Really good shooter, great size, great feel. As you know, in our motion offense, really good cutter and moves really well without the basketball. And having him on the floor is going to be able to spread the floor, allow Owen and Josh, Drew, some space to operate. Expect Lodgy to make that sophomore jump as well. Play some really meaningful minutes for us. Was probably our best low post defender last year. Is a better shooter than statistically has shown. So we expect Lodgy to come in there and continue to wreak havoc on the boards and on the defensive end and be a really good shooter for us going forward. And Brock Harding is, again, he's taken on the onus of being the leader, since we lost Tony Perkins and Patrick. He's only a sophomore, but at the same time, he knows, he's not a freshman anymore, and he's carrying that weight on his shoulders, and it's really good to see. He's been really in the gym all the time, almost, hey, Brock, like, chill out, man. We don't need you right now on July, 18th at 7 a.m. We're going to need you, in January and February, the dog days. But he's a gym rat. I love Brock Harding. I love his energy, his tenacity, and he's got to play with a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? And he does. Reminds me a lot of Peyton Pritchard. Shout out to my world champion Boston Celtics, and I expect a big season from Brock as well. And Big Ev, didn't help us as much as he probably would have liked, but he's in the gym, he's working. Big, strong, athletic. Enforcer, and somebody that we're going to need, for post depth, going forward.
Coach, it looks like, man, you all did a really good job of plugging the needs because you've got Owen Freeman, co-Big Ten Freshman of the Year, with a motor that I am very impressed with. Every time I saw him hit the floor, he's playing his tail off on both ends of the floor. So, I mean, you've got a great group to come back, but then you've got with Traore at 6'8", Dembele 6'8", 6'9", and then these two incoming freshmen that look outstanding. Cooper, is it Koch?
Yes, Koch.
And Chris Tajo?
Chris Tajo, correct.
Can you share with our viewers what your expectations are of these two talented young men?
Yeah, no. So Cooper, his dad, J.R. Koch, played here. So he's a legacy recruit.
Okay.
We had to get him. 6'8", shoots the cover off the basketball. Athletic. You're gonna see him at the front of that 1-2-2 at times. Really play mature game. Doesn't look like a freshman out there. And he's going to play meaningful minutes for us. Another, kind of typical Iowa guy, like a Utah, what I mean? Wieskamp in that realm. I expect for Coop to have, a really great career here as long as those guys can shoot it. Dribble, pass, and shoot, rebounds. He's going to be a great addition to our team. And Chris Tajo out of the NBA Latin Academy. We saw him down in Memphis in the NCAA Academy last year. Plays great energy, motor, might be the best athlete on the team. Long arms, jump out the gym. We had trouble rebounding the basketball. On the defensive end last year, and we kind of addressed some of those needs with Chris, Cooper, and Seydou. We expect Chris his energy is going to be infectious, plays his heart, out every single possession, doesn't take any plays off. And, as you can't substitute, you can't teach that, you can't coach that. He has some of those intangibles to be a really good player.
Oh, that's great stuff, man. I appreciate you breaking all these guys down for us. Coach, is there anything that you want to mention that we didn't get to that I failed to bring up?
No, Steve, I think, we're just working, man. I know we're not the sexy team in the Big Ten, but we just put our head down, put our hard hats on, and go to work every day. And you're going to see this group grow and develop, and we're going to be there when it's all said and done. I'll stamp that. I'll put my name on that.
I believe it. I believe it. And then what's your feeling about these 4 new teams coming into the league, Coach?
Man, it was already a monster of a league, man. It just got even more monstrous. You know what I mean? With Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC coming in. I will say We will get to go out to LA this year. I hope it's in January or February. Get a little bit of sunshine. It should be about 70 degrees in the wintertime out there, so I'm looking forward to that. Not so much for the game, but that just intensifies this league. There are no nights off, and you got to bring it. It'll be interesting to see if the old Pac-12 teams, if they kind of adapt to, our style of play at the Big Ten, or do we have to adapt to their style? Or do we have to kind of run more? Well, that's kind of how we play already, but
sure,
kind of we get out and run. But it'll be interesting to see, Wisconsin versus a USC. You know what I mean? Like what type of game ends up happening. So I'm really excited to get out there and see different type of style of basketball and be in a different region of the world, and also it expands our viewership.
Yes.
So these guys are going to be household names from LA to Chicago to New York City, know what I mean, and Washington DC. So it's going to be exciting getting to fly all over the country and play these basketball games. As those 40 minutes are really intense and very stressful to say the least. But I'm happy to be a part of the Big Ten and be here at the University of Iowa.
So you viewers, you can understand why I was excited to get Coach Eldridge on, because he's gives some really good insight to his team. But also, I love what you were saying about the different styles of play there that the former Pac-12 teams will bring to the conference, and the different matchups and how that's going to look. That's getting me excited.
Yeah,
man. Coach, I really appreciate you, man, joining me today. Thanks so much for coming on Bardo's Breakdown.
Steve, thanks for having me. I look forward to being back. Once the season, rolls around, especially after we win some games, all the love and best of luck going forward.
So that was Iowa Assistant Coach Courtney Eldridge, and I want to give a special thank you to Coach Eldridge for his time and his breaking down his team and some of the insights and whatnot. Really interesting. You guys, man, I think you're starting to see why I have one of the best jobs in the country, because I get to go around and talk to all these cool coaches, all these cool people, right? We all love basketball. So, Courtney, coming from Boston, plays in UNC Greensboro, was following Coach McCaffery a little bit. I think he was in maybe a grad assistant at Siena with him. But great guy. And all these coaches, man, it's so much fun to get them on Bardo's Breakdown so that you all become more knowledgeable. You have something to take into the season based on what these coaches have said about their teams, and just some different insight that you're not going to get anywhere else except for Bardo's Breakdown. So I was going to go to the Flying Illini story, but I was looking at my text group, and James Coomerer, because he and his beautiful wife, I think they try to eat dinner around this time. So James, I hope you listened, man. He gave me a really nice thing to look at here in terms of Andy Katz ranks the top 10 fan bases in men's college basketball. And I thought this is interesting. So let's take a look at it. So I think Big Blue Nation, that's obvious. Listen, if you guys have not been to a UConn game or you haven't seen UConn fans, they're rowdy. They're loud. They can be obnoxious, but they have a right to be obnoxious. They're the back-to-back national champions. They got the best program in the country right now. So that's a no-brainer there. 3 Kansas and then 4 Duke. You would expect that. But here's where it gets interesting. Purdue and Illinois, 5 and 6. Now, I don't know if it's that Andy's working for Big Ten Network and he's a little bit biased. But I don't disagree with him. But I was just surprised to see Purdue and Illinois at 5 and 6. Then you got the Blue Blood, North Carolina at 7. Now, to me, guys, when I played at North Carolina, and I think I called a game there once a while back, it seems like the cheese and wine group. They don't get rowdy. And there's a lot of pride among Tar Heel fans, but I don't know that I would put them in the top 10 fan bases. I don't know. Maybe Andy has a different criteria. They're definitely rabid about their Tar Heels. I just don't know. Every fan base has class. They seem to be a little bit more classy. It's almost like Dean Smith kind of laid an aura around that program. And so I was just surprised to see North Carolina in here in this. Number 8, Indiana. Now think about this, guys. Indiana's fan base is rabid. And it's interesting that Andy Katz puts Purdue, Illinois, and Indiana. Those are the 3 most aggressive fan bases on Twitter. Indiana, Purdue, and Illinois fans are as aggressive on Twitter as any other fan bases in the Big Ten. So good to see Indiana in there. Arkansas, number 9. I think Arkansas can be higher. When they call the Hogs, Pig Suey. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you go to an Arkansas game, you know what I'm talking about. They call the Hogs. It's part of their, you'll see Michigan State, go green, go white. Michigan, go blue. Boiler up. IU. ILLINI. None of that. It's Pig Suey. They're calling the Hogs, Arkansas Razorbacks. So I would have put them a little bit higher. And I really like Iowa State being here because I think they've been, their fan base has been good since the guy that coached at Michigan, then he came over to Iowa State. Why am I forgetting Johnny's last name? You guys will help me. But ever since then, Iowa State's fan base has been rabid and loyal and loud. Hilton Coliseum is probably one of the older venues in the Big 12, but the fans pack it, and it's such a home court advantage because it kind of sits down on you and all the sound rains down. I think Iowa State, I like the fact they're in the top 10. I think they could have even been higher. If there's a fan base that is not present in this list, although this is a really good list, I'm surprised that maybe the Marquette Golden Eagles aren't in there because they've got a rabid fan base and they pack an NBA arena every game. Who else do I think would be a fan? Nebraska. Now, Nebraska hasn't had the success that these programs that are listed, but Pinnacle Bank Arena, I remember years when Nebraska wasn't that good and that's 15, 16,000 people in there. Great venue. So thank you, James Coomer, for bringing this to my attention. I thought you guys would find this interesting. I see there's some more people that have jumped on. I see some more comments come up. So I'd be interested to see if that's what you guys are talking about. But thank you again to James for alerting me to this. And I thought I'd get this in real quickly because, we like lists here on Bardo's Breakdown and rankings and things of that nature. So big ups to Andy Katz. He did this for NCAA.com. And big ups to James Coomer for letting me know. Thank you. All right, let's go to the Flying Illini stories. Lowell Hamilton is probably the player on the Flying Illini that gets the least amount of credit that was probably as important as anybody on the team. There's no doubt about it. And here's the thing, guys. If you remember, Lowell's the number one. He was ranked the number one player in the country coming out of high school. And Lowell wasn't a tremendously skilled guy. He was athletic and strong as an ox. And he was a ladies' man. He's, good looking, chiseled, had an easy way about him. He's got the gift of gab, but so we're, I can't believe I'm sharing this. I'm going to share it anyway. We're in the NCAA tournament. My sophomore year, Lowell's junior year. Yeah. And we're in Cincinnati. And so we won our first round matchup. We're getting ready to play Villanova. It's the day before, I believe. We're going to shoot around. And so me and Lowell were roommates on this road trip. I don't know why they did that. They would flip it up sometimes. I don't know why, because everybody had their clique. Everybody had the guy that they really liked on the team. And what do we know as 18 to 22-year-olds, right? I love Lowe, but I never really roomed with him. But for some reason, I guess the night before I didn't really sleep that well, so I took a nap, man, and that's why I don't take naps to this day because it's hard for me to get up out of a nap. And so Lowell said, "Hey, man, hey, we're getting ready to leave, Steve. Get up, man." And I kind of blew him off. And so then I had to catch a taxi to shoot around. And, coach ripped me a new one, all that. And I was hot at Lowell, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we called Lowell, his nickname was Sweet and Low because he was so smooth and handsome and debonair. Don't threaten him. That's the last thing you want to do. Don't threaten him because he was ready to tear me a new one. And he said, I tried to get you up, man. You wouldn't wake up. And I was trying to blame somebody that it was my fault. But I was trying to blame Lowell for not being more aggressive and trying to get me out of bed. But that was my responsibility. But that's one small story about Lowell. And, I found Lowell fascinating because he comes out of Chicago. He's got all this adulation, but he's a humble dude. He wasn't arrogant. He didn't walk around thinking his stuff didn't stink. Lowell would speak to anybody on the street. He give you whatever he had. He's a great dude, man. I mean, I love Lowell. I love all my teammates, but I had something special for Lowell. He was kind of an enigma, and then when I really got to know him, oh man, one of the best dudes you ever meet in your life, man. I'm telling you, between he and Marcus Liberty, two guys with the sweetest souls that you ever want to meet, right? I'm a really positive guy. I'm upbeat, but I can snap in a heartbeat. I'm a recovering mad person. And some would question whether I'm recovering or not. But he and Marcus were sweethearts. They're just really kind, genuine men. And it was fun getting to know Lowell. Even after we played, we'd get together and I'd pull him to the side, ask him about his family, ask him what he's doing, and just love Sweet and Low. And then Lou Henson, hey, don't call him sweet. He's going to be soft. We need tough guys. We don't need soft guys. That's all Lou Henson used to say to us. He didn't want any soft players. He wanted everybody tough, right? So we call Sweet, like, hey, don't call him sweet. That's what Lou Henson would say. So that's my flying the line story for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun telling it. All right. So now we can go to our next 5 of our top 50 best players ever, according to Bardo's breakdown. All right. That's a wicked group, y'all. All right. Now, I know, guys, he didn't play in the Big Ten. I got to say this every time I do this. We are welcoming in the new members of the Big Ten. So I'm giving everybody love. So Harold Miner was a beast, 12th pick to Miami in the 1992 NBA draft. His nickname was Baby Jordan. I think that really hurt him moving forward because he didn't have the skill set of Jordan. He had the athleticism. He didn't have the skill set. And I think that kind of set him back. I think he got 4 years of play in the NBA and just couldn't stick. But, two-time NBA slam dunk champion, Pac-12 player of the year in 1992, outstanding player, Harold Miner of USC. This next guy is arguably the best shooter the Big Ten has ever seen. Rick Mount, 2-time consensus All-American, 2-time Big Ten player of the year. And guys, you younger people that are watching, I want you to Google Rick Mount and watch him. YouTube. Go to YouTube, put in Rick Mount jumper, or just put in Rick Mount and see what you come up with. He was quick. He popped off the ground. Like he has sneaky athleticism, and he could shoot it from the parking lot, or he could shoot in the phone booth. He didn't care if you were in his face. He didn't care if he's double teamed. This dude lit up the Big Ten in college basketball. One of the best guards, like I said, arguably the best shooter that the Big Ten has ever seen. Now, for a guy that was 6'1", Sean Respert is arguably top 5 players in Big Ten history. I didn't stutter. 6'1", guys. Second all-time leading scorer in Big Ten history, only behind Calvert Chaney by about 30 points, maybe 35 points. National and Big Ten Player of the Year in 1995. He had a knee injury his senior year in college that he never really recovered from. He played through it, and he was never the same after that. But boy, was he a dominant, I mean, dominant college player. He and Eric Snow were arguably the best backcourt in the country. 1 or 2 seasons while they were together at Michigan State. Outstanding hooper. Love seeing Sean. He was with the Bulls organization. I don't know if he still is. I saw him a few years back. Looks great, upbeat. He's still in the business, so I love it. Let me tell y'all something about Glenn Rice. Somebody put up a post about the Flying Illini, so I shared it to my Facebook page. Glenn saw it and wrote an outstanding breakdown of our team and how we were excellent. They caught us at the right time. He had mad respect for us. You talk about a dude that's class. Glenn Rice is class. And he's a winner. Back-to-back high school championships, NCAA champion, NBA champion, 3-time NBA All-Star, Big Ten Player of the Year in 1989. I tell you what, gentleman personified. If you see gentleman in the dictionary, Glenn Rice's picture is right next to it. Love that brother. Love him. And then I don't know if there was a better offensive weapon the Big Ten has ever seen. Glenn Big Dog Robinson. I think he's still the best player in Purdue history. Zach Edey has a lot to say about that, but I still think Big Dog is the best in Purdue history. I know I said Zach at one point, but as I continue to think about it, Big Dog was the truth. I mean, you guys the people my age remember Glenn when he would back people down. He'd get on the baseline. He'd just elevate over the top of you. He'd dunk on your head. He was an underrated rebounder and had a really good career in the NBA as well. Milwaukee Bucks. I think he was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks. I can't remember where else he played, but Glenn Big Dog Robinson, one of the best the Big Ten has ever seen. All right, that's our next 5 of Bardo's top 50. Look forward to seeing what we got next week. But that's our 5 for today. All right, let me get out of that. All right, let me get to your questions. All right, let's see. DeShandre Washington says, I've seen some recent workouts with John Morant and Zach Edey. Edey will be a factor in the league. Well, DeShandre, Zach Edey is similar to Luka Garza in the fact that they're workaholics. And Zach Edey plays with a chip on his shoulder. So anytime you've got a 7'4", very skilled big that works his tail off, I believe he can shoot an NBA 3 with regularity. I think you're going to see that. He's that skilled. And anytime you have a work ethic as good as his, you can't be denied. And I'm not dogging the young people out right now. I'm not. But the work ethic is a skill set now. You couldn't play in the late 80s, early 90s in the Big Ten if you didn't have work ethic. You couldn't get on the floor. I don't care how talented you were. You could not get on the floor if you did not work. And so when you see guys like Zach Edey, like Terrence Shannon, guys who do the extraordinary, right? Do the extraordinary. They can't be denied. They're going to find a way. And so that's a life lesson. If you've got work ethic, you might get turned down once or twice, maybe 3 times. But if you stay with it, you can't be denied. Work ethic trumps everything. Now, you need talent, and Zach has got that. But if you got work ethic and a little bit of talent, you can't be denied. So I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. Let's see. Darn, I forgot all about Bardo's breakdown. I blame it on the heat. The real feel in Edwardsville is 99. Well, Carol, I'm south of you in Carbondale, and it's 99, but it doesn't feel bad outside because it's not humid. So I'm going to push back on you a little bit there. Hey, your shirt is on the way. Your shirt is on the way. Thank you for your patience. Okay. All right. James chimes in. He says he's happy with number 6, the Illini, on Andy Katz's top 10 best fan bases of college basketball. And thanks again, James, for that heads up. That was great that I saw it, was able to get that in. Here goes Chad Alt. Hard to believe this is the 35th anniversary year since the '89 team. Y'all getting over the season? Y'all getting together during the season? I'm sure we will, Chad. I haven't heard from anyone yet, but I'm sure we'll figure something out because the guys they understand the importance of it. Larry Smith and Kenny Battle posted a picture on Facebook of the reunion that all of us were together for the last time. Coach Nagy, Coach Collins, Lou Henson, Mary, and then all the players. I wasn't in the picture because I was calling the game. I think it was during halftime, and they were in the back. But all the guys on the Flying Illini and the coaching staff, Mark Coombs was there as well in the picture. And so I think these guys are understanding as we get older, it's very important that we come together as often as we can. So I don't know when. Again, I haven't heard from Chris Tuttle at DIA, but I'm sure I will. But thanks for that. Johnny Orr. Thank you, Carol. Johnny Orr. Ever since Johnny Orr got to Iowa State, that place has been rocking. And that was a long time ago. So it's been like 40 plus years that Hilton Coliseum has been rocking. Okay, AVSDP. He's not all that into what goes into rankings, but Will Riley was number 9 before the reclass. He's now number 20. 11 spot drop just for moving up 1 year. Really? Well, how can I say this? Rankings is purely projection, guys. There's no science to it. Someone's opinion. That's it. Because Will hasn't played on the college level. He's only played in the AAU circuit and played up in Canada. So a lot of people haven't seen him play. They might see clips and things like that. They haven't seen him play. And so I don't want you guys, don't get too upset or anything like that. It's just somebody's opinion based on very limited information, to be honest. So I wouldn't look too much into it, Chad. I mean AVPDS. Interesting question, Chad. Is there anything missing, in my opinion, with the State Farm Center? I know it was renovated not long ago. I think you've done a really good job with State Farm Center. Is there anything I would change? Not really. I think the suite areas, the luge areas are good. They've got really good sight lines. I had season tickets this past year, and I was up high, but it was still a good look. I didn't have any trouble seeing anything going on the court. The locker rooms are great. What they've done in the back, where the higher level donors can go and all that, is pretty nice. So I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job. I know it's supposed to be State Farm Center. It's simply all. It's the House of Pain. That's what it is. The House of Pain. What's going on, Fletcher? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Fly line out, fly. Appreciate you, man. You always show up. Thank you for your support. Riley is number 12 on 3 after the reclass. Number 12 on Rivals as well. Some sites are just not as reclass friendly. Good breakdown, Fly line out, fly. Appreciate that. Imagine if you guys had Ben Wilson. Rest in peace. Tragic. Yeah, Ben was a generational talent. It would have been interesting to see what it looked like. I probably would have been 6 man instead of starting point guard. But I was looking forward to seeing him in a Illini jersey. That would have been something to see. But unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see it. Okay, Carol says she saw another ranking today on Facebook. The Illini fan base was number 7. Not sure who it was, though. Okay, but here's the thing, Carol and Illini fans who are on here. It's pretty cool that people feel that way about the fan base, though. It's across the board. Andy Cass had one. Carol shows that there's another one. The fact that you're in top 10, again, is someone's opinion. So that's pretty good. Wow. Oh my goodness. Best name in social media. I honestly can't believe the timing. Literally this morning came across an article stating that one of the guys on that 89 team said Ben Wilson is the best player he's ever seen, MJ included. I don't know who that is. Definitely wasn't Kendall because he was trying to be MJ. Oh, okay. James played it in a grammar school tournament at Mount Carmel. Lowell wouldn't go back on D. He would cherry pick outlet passes and he would dunk in grammar school. That's funny, James. Thanks for sharing that, man. Yeah, he was a man child. I think he grew early and was really physically. He was strong. Lowell was strong, and you guys remember he's 6'7", undersized but could battle with the bigs. And we had bigs back then. Everybody had a 6'10" or above. Everybody had a big. And he's giving up 3, 4, 5 inches. Didn't matter. Held his own. Let's see. Oh, he said, I believe it was Irvin Small who said it about Ben Wilson. Irvin Small is kind of like, how can I say this? Irvin Small is a cross between Flavor Flav and Michael Buffer. Irvin Small is a hype man. And when he gets excited, I don't know how factual some of his statements are. So you gotta take Irvin Small, especially back then, with a grain of salt. Irviniscus Smalleyoni was something else. Man, we had Eat and Sleep. We had so many nicknames for Irvin. But Irvin is a colorful character. And so take that with a grain of salt. The Spoon River Cowboy. You'll never hear the real story that I want to tell about Lil Hamilton. I'm taking that one to my grave, as are my teammates. Carol says she loves the way we imitate or impersonate Lou Henson. My husband used to impersonate him on the baseline, especially when he got mad. He was right on, was funny. Carol, Lou Henson was an interesting man. And I don't know why his voice would rise to another octave when he got upset. But hey, and that little Oklahoma twang would come out. Hilarious. Because when coaches come to your house for a visit, they're real cool and chill and all that. Man, they get you on campus. I'm sitting there like, who is this dude that I signed with? This ain't the cat I signed with. It's totally different. But great coach, funny. So I would have hoped to be a fly on the wall to hear your husband do that imitation, Carol. That's funny. AVPDS. So there, Ben was at Simeon High School. He was at lunch. He was on lunch break. He's walking with his girlfriend. He walks. They're on the sidewalk. He walks past this guy. I think they bumped shoulders or something. And they had an exchange. And young people with testosterone. I guess it got elevated. Ben's 6'7", 6'8". The guy's much shorter. Had a gun. I think Ben may have lunged at him or something. The guy shot him. and that's how he was killed. Senseless violence, young people, with guns. Very, very tragic, and that rocked Chicago for a good year, if not more. Terrible tragedy, and yeah, it was terrible. Let's see. Okay, Kasparas Jacksionis comparison. Tyler Kolek. I think KJ is a little bit fat, a little bit more athletic. Tyler Kolek is not athletic at all. He's just really savvy because he knows how to shift. He's really strong, so he could shift and hit you. He clip you on your hip with his elbow. He's very, very crafty. He knew how to use his body. Knows how to not knew knows how to use his body. That's why the New York Knicks were ecstatic to get him, I believe, at the first pick of the second round because they thought he's a first round talent. So KJ looks to be a little bit more downhill in his DNA than Kolek. It was rare when you saw Tyler catch, rip, and just blow through a defender all the way to the rim. Tyler was more up fake, start in, start out, hezzy, up, and then get to the rim and finish. KJ is more like in the right hand, up fake, and boom, he's gone. So I think KJ's a little bit better athlete. He's a better athlete than Tyler Kolek. He looks on film like he can pass like Tyler. We'll see. But Tyler Kolek's got an unbelievable feel for the point guard position and the leadership qualities that he possesses. He's going to be an NBA starter at some point, I think. But let's keep working at it, man. I like it. I like it. Yeah, Carol, I know they were the best years. The 2010s weren't bad, though. A lot of NBA talent come through the Big Ten during the 2010s. And let's get to the point now with the 2020s, we can have more NBA talent in the Big Ten, get a national championship, get that monkey off the back. It would be good because it's too damn long. Talking about the 80s and 90s. Shit, it's 35, 40 years ago, right? We need a national championship. We need some more NBA talent. Now, these young dudes coming in, there's some NBA talent coming in. There's a few NBA players in the league, but this freshman crop, real deal. Real deal. All right. No. Tristan Newton is way shiftier. Kasparas is clever, and he kind of. I think Newton is shiftier, and I think Newton is an all-around better player because he's better. He's a better on-ball defender. I think he's a better rebounder. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that comparison. Ooh, Doug Peterson, great question. Who's the toughest perimeter defender you played against? Ooh, wow. Toughest perimeter defender you played against? Trying to think. Ooh, let me think. Toughest perimeter defender you played against? Mark Macon was a monster at Temple. He was tough. Brian Oliver was tough at Georgia Tech. He was a tough defender, physical. Love to get up in you, talk stuff, grab your shorts. He was tough. Gary Grant. I was a freshman. He was a senior. I hated seeing Gary Grant coming, man. Oh, that dude could play. And he was tough defensively. Like he was thin, but he was strong. And like his core was crazy strong. So when I'm trying to initiate the offense, he body bumped me. And I'm flying and looking at the ref like, bro. He's like, Bro's like, hey man, it's Big Ten. Play Rook. Play through it, Rook. That's how it was back then. But those three guys stick out to me. Melvin Newbern at Minnesota was a beast because he was about 6'5", but he was strong. So I'd say Melvin Newbern, Minnesota, Brian Oliver, Georgia Tech, Mark Macon, Temple. I'm having a senior moment here. Who was the fourth person I just said? But those four right there. No, Carol, it's very rare that I drive to Carbondale anymore. I take the Amtrak. Comes right here to Carbondale, drops right off in Union Station in Chicago. And business class tickets are cheap. I get on there and chill. I should buy stock in Amtrak as much as I'm on it. It's rare that I'm going to drive down here anymore, Carol. Different players. Jalen Hood-Schifino, that might be a good one. Wait a minute. AVP DS, let me think about that. That might be a pretty good one, actually. Let's keep that. Let's keep that. Let me star that comment. Yeah, that's let me think about that. That's pretty good. I was getting ready to say nah, but no, that's pretty good. Carol, I did not get a chance to play against Ben. I surely wanted to, but I didn't get that chance. Dory, that's a good question. I haven't been as tuned. I haven't been as plugged into the high school scene as I need to be. I'm gonna ask Phoenix Gill if there are any guys in Simeon that I need to watch out for that could be on Illinois' radar. But that's a good question. So thank you for bringing that up. Biggie Smalls. Irvin Biggie Smalls. That's it. Yes, he did, Chad. He frustrated the heck out of Purvis Never Nervous Ellison. He looked nervous that game, didn't he? Irvin had him locked up, and Irvin went Chi-Town on him. Pulled out all the Robert Taylor sayings, the icky sayings. Y'all know, folks in Chicago know what I'm talking about, but yeah. Purvis Ellison looking at it like, who is this Tasmanian devil that's up in my, you know what? Yeah, Irvin did. That was a great game. Couldn't have won that Louisville game without him. No, Jeff, I don't remember that one. Do you remember which game it was at home during the '89 season when Irvin Small came in, tripped, and flew up in the air and hit the ground and rattled this? Oh, Jeff, I don't remember that. I wish I did, because I'd be dogging him out to this day. Oh, okay, Ray Ray. Um, Trey Burke was a beast. Did Derek Wall Jr. do enough to get up in the rafters? I love his game and their teams. I don't know if he did enough to get in the rafters. Generally, guys who lead like me, like I was an elite leader. We don't get up in the rafters. We're unsung. We're behind the scenes. And I think Derek Walton Jr. score. He can score, get it done, but I don't know. I don't know about rafters in Michigan. That you gotta be out. You gotta almost be all American level to get in the rafters. Um, Bo Singh, I can't wait for basketball season. Did Illinois give Brad Underwood a lifetime contract, or are they thinking about it? Bo, I don't think that you can give any coach a lifetime contract anymore in college sports. The money's too great. The competition level is too great. I don't know that you're going to necessarily see that. Now, did Bill Self get one in Kansas? He would be an exception. Hurley at UConn, I know he got re-upped. I don't think it was a lifetime contract. I don't know that they'll do that much anymore. Just too competitive and too much money. Anthony Edwards recently said players in the 80s and 90s didn't have skills other than Magic Jordan. Thoughts? Ray, Anthony Edwards is a young man. Obviously, he hasn't studied that era of players. And it's natural to have recency bias because he's jumping out of the gym. He's doing all those things. But he doesn't know that David Thompson jumped higher than him. He doesn't know about a guy in Jeff Malone that never shot an NBA three-pointer, but would kill you from 15 to 18 feet. Jeff Malone was an assassin. He's never, I don't think he's ever heard of Mitch Richmond. Do you guys remember how good Mitch Richmond was? He got buried out in Sacramento, so you didn't see him. Mitch Richmond was a top 3 two-guard in the league at one point. He's going to say Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson weren't talented? Larry Bird? He's just young. Made a mistake. He'd be smart to go back and you know, kind of apologize for his foolishness and ignorance, because that's what it is, ignorant. You mean for Illinois? Mother, I'm just going to say mother. You mean for Illinois? Let me know. Oh, yeah. Carol's talking about. All right, wait a minute. Larry Blackwood. Maybe you've been on here. If this is your first time on Bardo's Breakdown, welcome. Where do you think the lineup will finish in the Big Ten this year? Top 6. They'll be in the top 6. I think they have enough talent, and Brad has shown that he can mesh and bring players together quickly. So I think they'll be in the top 6. Who do you think will be Illinois point guard when the season starts? I think Brad Underwood might start 2 point guards at once. I think Kylan Boswell and KJ will more than likely start together. I'd be surprised if you don't see both of those guys starting. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, man. Happy birthday, Doug Peterson. It's his birthday this week, so we're just going to call it, hey, happy birthday for this week. And, man, if I could find some Chuck Taylors, I'd get them to you, Doug. Straight up. But happy birthday, man. Enjoy yourself this week. Kylan Boswell, KJ. Ty Rogers, Ben Humrickhouse, Marez Johnson. That's who I like. That's who I like for the starting lineup. All right, guys. I think I got through all of it. Oh, I am tripping. Y'all know I'm tripping. I'm at home. Listen. Go to bartlestribe.com, get your free copy of Triple Threat, sign you up for the newsletter, and the website is taking longer than I anticipated, like it always does, but it's going to be really nice. And I've got 3 different levels now, kind of pared it down, 3 different levels for membership in the tribe. So make sure you go to bartlestribe.com and get your free copy of Triple Threat. I've got another free giveaway coming up shortly. The Big Ten, your guide to the new Big Ten. You guys are going to love this. So you're going to be shocked that I'm giving this away for free, because I could charge for it. But that announcement will be coming soon. We're 70 days out of the start of college basketball. I cannot wait. Okay. So thank you guys for watching today. I always appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you all. Check back in this week because I've got an interview with a former Illini great that I don't think you want to miss. I'm going to post it on Thursday. Okay. Love you all. And until next time, holla, y'all.